Segment right here. Please sit down. Watch it. Basketball superstar LeBron James won't say whether he has received or will receive the coronavirus vaccine. James, outspoken on social issues like racial justice and voting rights, very outspoken, says his own vaccination status is not a big deal.
Anything that I do off the floor is predicated to my family, for the majority. I mean, for 99.9% of that. So, it's about the health and safety of my family. And that's what it came down to. Me being available to my teammates on the floor is me taking care of my body.
Do you mind me asking if you're confirming that you did get the vaccine?
It's not a big deal.
But to many, it is a very big deal, including for my next guest, Stephen A. Smith, host of ESPN's First Take and host and executive producer of Stephen A.'s World on ESPN+. Stephen A., thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love your outspokenness. Thank you for doing this. This bothers you. You said that LeBron can't have it both ways, that he either wants to be out front and center, bringing a voice to issues, or he doesn't. Tell me why this is so important to you.
Well, I think that, obviously, you had me on your show a few months ago when I decided to take the vaccine. I had my reservations. There's a plethora of people within the African-American community that have had our reservations about taking the vaccine. But ultimately, when you go into ICUs and what have you, and you see things that have been so profoundly detrimental to the African-American community, you take a stand and you take a position. I'm not of the position that LeBron James normally, under normal circumstances, should feel any obligation whatsoever to divulge whether or not he's taken the vaccine. But considering the multitude of issues that he's been willing to tackle, considering what provoked him to do so because of concerns for his community, his people, those are his words. These are the kind of things that he has said time and time and time again. Then why would you not speak on the issue of being vaccinated or not? That's what I'm talking about. Of course, he's a citizen. He's entitled to his privacy. We all know that. Mm-hmm. And LeBron James is the ultimate role model. He's an incredible athlete, an incredible humanitarian as far as I'm concerned, one of the best people we've ever seen in the world of sports. But on this particular issue, his unwillingness to divulge where he stands and why he feels whatever it is that he feels, I'm going to say that it's flagrantly inconsistent with all the positions that he has taken and the reasons he has used for taking those positions.
Well, Stephen A., also, and if you look at, if LeBron James sneezes, the fans want to know, does he have a cold, right? If he twists an ankle, right. If he has a sore shoulder, or, if he does whatever. And so his health is of importance and interest to the legions of fans around the world. But also, Stephen A., and I'm sure you've seen this, I was in the barbershop the other day. It's been a while, like 2 weeks, which is a long time. And these people are giving me all of these stories about, I have a cousin who works for this and someone who works for a doctor. And they're giving me all of this false information. And I'm sitting there in the chair going, you guys must be kidding me. And I think, the reasons that they're giving for not taking the vaccine, look, you do it, you're a private citizen, you do what you want. But the information is false. There are black doctors and scientists who worked on vaccine strategy and developing the vaccine. This is not the Tuskegee experiment. We have moved beyond that. Right. Do you understand what I'm saying? LeBron has a huge influence with that.
Absolutely, he does. He does. No question about it. And you know my story in terms of the CEO and president of Virtual Health System in South Jersey was the one that called me, got on me, and then brought me down to South Jersey and showed me the inordinate amount of African Americans that were being hospitalized and were in ICU units because of COVID-19 and how devastating of effect it was having on the African American community. But then again, let's get back to LeBron James in terms of specifics. He was in the news, and I had to speak on the issue today because LeBron James, just a couple of days before his playoff game against the Phoenix Suns, was at his agent's house, Rich Paul, in Beverly Hills. The event was outdoors. The individuals that were in attendance were all tested. All of those safety protocols and the safety measures were taken to ensure that there was no danger whatsoever. But the reality was an abundance of people didn't know that. So when you saw a picture of LeBron James at this event, you had fans all over the country talking about, wait a minute, there were NBA players that were sat down because they put themselves in those compromising positions. And as a result, you never know what could happen. They could potentially contaminate a person without knowing, or all of this other stuff. Again, that turned out not to be true. But that wasn't something that LeBron James enlightened us about. The NBA enlightened us about it.
Let me read the statement.
Other people in the NBA did that, but not LeBron James. Why would you not do that?
Let me read the statement, and then I'll let you continue here. So the statement says, to clarify any remaining misconception, LeBron James briefly attended an outdoor event last week where participants were required to be vaccinated or return a negative test result. Under current NBA rules, vaccinated players are permitted to engage in outside activities, including their individual commercial arrangements, such as sponsor appearances or ad shoots. So do you think this statement is implying his vaccine status here, his vaccination status?
I'm not going to say that. And not only that, I'm not going to allow that to influence my thinking, because here's the deal, Don. We've seen LeBron James speak on a plethora of issues, speak very educated-wise, very intelligently about a plethora of issues. He is definitely more than capable of speaking for himself. He's not just a smart dude. He is brilliant. Make no mistake about it. He's something special. And when you listen to him speak on the issues that he has spoken about, it's thought-provoking. He's obviously done his research. He knows what the hell he's talking about, et cetera, et cetera. And he's enlightened us about a lot of things he feels and how in tune he is with what's going on, not just in our society as a whole, but throughout the world. He has spoken on a multitude of issues on many occasions. He hasn't spoken about this, despite numerous opportunities that he's had to do so. Obviously, that'll raise an antenna and make you wonder why he insists on not speaking on such a thing at all, particularly when he recognizes how it's ravaged our nation, how it's ravaged the world globally, and what kind of profound impact it has had on our communities. That's why I said what I said, because optics matter, particularly when it comes to LeBron James. You put yourself in this position, you know it's going to conjure up questions, and to give those weak answers that he gave the other day when asked about it before a playoff game against the Phoenix Suns, I just thought was beneath what we've come to know, appreciate, and fully